So good morning everyone. It's the next day here in Davao. Just having my morning coffee, some brewed coffee, and basically we're gonna be having two more or less quite popular meals here in Davao. One for breakfast, one for lunch before we head back to Cebu. So for breakfast, we're actually going to be visiting the Philippine President Duterte's favorite, we call it Karenderia, here in Davao. So I'm set to try one of his favorite meals there, and then we'll be having sumptuous lunch later on. So see you. Finish my coffee first.
For breakfast, we went to the President Duterte's favorite Karenderia, so that it had lots of decor, especially considering that Duterte's daughter just won in the recent national elections. And actually, the whole restaurant is just decorated with lots of photographs of the Duterte family as well as different people who visited the establishment. They specialize in their Carabao Tapa, which is what they say is the president's favorite meal, so I definitely got that. And we had that with our serving of rice and some balbakua. So the tapa was just like finely grated and yeah, fine pieces of meat, quite crispy because they deep fry it as well, I believe. And then just have it with the rice and a bit of soy sauce and vinegar. It just goes really well together. It's a very simple meal, but it's an excellent combination. They also serve some ginamos, which is like a fish paste, so it adds a bit more saltiness to the rice, if and you can add it to the meat as well if you want. So it's a very nice combination of flavors, saltiness and a bit of crispiness from the tapa. The balbakua is this soup which uses a lot of tendon, and yeah, that's why the soup is very full of collagen. It's a very simple soup. It's very strong with, I think, with a ginger flavor, and then you can also have those chunks of meat of tendon which are just falling off the bone. So it's a very nice side complement to the main Carabao Tapa dish which we had. And I always like to have soup. They were generous enough to offer us some of their bulalo soup, which is actually what they specialize in, but the serving was quite big for just the two of us, so that's why we weren't able to order it. But yeah, this one is a very flavorful soup. I think you can really tell that they've been boiling it for hours and hours. Very great flavor in this, and it always goes well with the rice, which is what a lot of us Filipinos do. We like to put soup with the rice. And yeah, it's just a really nice establishment, very humble establishment, but you can see that it's been well visited by lots of people, not only politicians but vloggers and other travelers as well.
Right. So we're back in the hotel for a quick break. The breakfast was really filling actually. We just tried the famous Carabao flakes, Carabao Tapa. Yeah, we had it with some rice, and then unfortunately the bulalo, which is actually another famous dish at that restaurant, is quite big for just the two of us, my dad and I. So we went with the balbacoa instead, which is another Bisaya dish, another soup dish. But the ladies were very generous enough to offer us some of the soup of the bulalo, which I think was really flavorful, was really good. And yeah, it's just a really humble eatery. It's said to be Duterte's favorite Karenderia, so it's something I really wanted to try here in Davao. It was really good, I think, for a small eatery. Price is a bit maybe a bit high for what you'd expect this sort of restaurants, but then again, it's really quite a famous place. Just the pictures all around the restaurant of different vloggers, different professionals visiting just to try Duterte's favorite dish. So I think that's probably why the price is a bit inflated in that sense. But it's really good. So right now we're just here in the hotel for some rest. We'll be going out to lunch in a couple of hours. We're gonna check out from the hotel first, and then from after lunch, I think we'll be going straight to the airport afterwards. Alright, guys, we're just about to leave again for lunch. And even if we just had quite a heavy breakfast, we're going to be having another big meal for lunch. We're going to be having crabs in one of the great restaurants here in Davao, which is Blue Port Boiling Crabs and Shrimps. So let's head over there right now.
And for lunch, we went to one of the most popular places to get your seafood fix in Davao, which is boiling crabs and shrimps. We selected our crabs at the table side, which they let us choose. So we got one which is around 800 grams, if I'm not mistaken, decently sized. We ordered some other seafood dishes as well. Of course, we got some scallops, we got some shrimp, and some calamares. So just very nice assortment of seafood for this meal. The calamares were the first to arrive, and they served it with some tartar sauce. So yeah, just very nice, lightly coated with batter, and then the squid itself was very fresh, very tender, and I love to dip it in a bit of the tartar sauce to add a bit of tanginess. It's a really good simple combination and just very well executed calamares. Next up, we had some boiled scallops, which were in like a Cajun sauce. So now you can actually choose what kind of sauce you put, but we went with a Cajun for the flavor, and it really did not disappoint. While the scallops here in the Philippines are not exactly the biggest in size, it's definitely flavorful the way they cook it. So we put lots of sauce on top, and yeah, it just has that very aromatic Cajun flavor to it. Love to put the sauce on top of the rice as well. It adds the very nice flavor pack. And yeah, the scallops itself, while they're quite small, they're very well cooked and very flavorful. Now we have the main attraction here, which are the crabs. Now they're also cooked in a bit of the specialty sauce, which is more leaning towards Cajun flavor as well, served with some corn. And I got a nice piece of the claw here. It's just very sweet meat, very fresh crab meat. And then you just dip it in a bit of the Cajun sauce. It adds a bit of the savoriness to contrast the sweetness, the natural sweetness of the crab. And also it just adds a bit of spice, a bit of heat compared to the subtleness of the crab meat. Just very good overall. And we also had some shrimps with salted egg coating. So the salted egg coating was actually a bit crisped up, so you could actually eat it around the shell before you peel the shrimps. It's very flavorful. I really enjoyed this salted egg shrimp. And of course, once you peel the shrimps, you get into the meaty goodness of the shrimp. Dip it in a bit of vinegar if you want. So it's a very nice package. You get lots of flavors within this dish. You have the saltiness, which you get firsthand, and then also once you get to the meat of the shrimp, you get a nice contrast. If you dip it into the vinegar, you add a bit of sourness to that. So it's a very nice way to have some seafood fix. Also definitely had to put the corn into the sauce, the Cajun sauce. It was really good, and I bathed the rice in it as well. So it's a very flavorful sauce, and just went really well with all the seafood we had. So I really enjoyed this meal, and it was definitely one of the highlights of the Davao trip.
So right now we're back at Davao Airport. Just had that heavy lunch, very delicious lunch of different seafood. Yes, I definitely recommend boiling crab as one of the places you have to visit in Davao. So at this moment of time, we spent I guess just over 30 hours in Davao. It's a rather short stay, but quite enjoyed it. Had lots of good food, and it's definitely like a prelude to coming back to Davao and to Mindanao, hopefully very soon. So for now, we're going back to Cebu. So just as we're here in the Davao Airport, last thing we want to try before leaving, some durian ice cream. So just packaged in this plastic container. We got a generous amount of durian ice cream. Let's try this out. So we've got a bit of the durian ice cream here. Let's give this a taste. I'm sure even before I put it into my mouth, you could already smell the durian aroma. It's actually quite good. It's very creamy. It's not like an overall pungent flavor. It's very sweet, of course, and then it's also very creamy. Probably added some milk or cream into that. Definitely is the durian aroma. A bit of more of an aftertaste than like a prolonging flavor. It's really good, very refreshing. It's quite hot today in Davao, so yeah, it's a nice little treat just before we leave Davao. So I'm actually shooting the last part of the video back here in Cebu, and that's because we have some homemade durian pie. So just want to give a quick shout out to Ate Ella and Ate Don. Thank you for helping us get our hands on this. So as you know, durian is one of the popular delicacies of Davao. It looks very good. Very nice crust with the durian filling. Let's try this out. Wow. The filling is really very, has a lot of durian flavor to it. Probably the exact same creaminess as that of the durian, has the aroma as well. And you know, right before we left in the airport, we had the durian ice cream. Now we have another version of durian in the durian pie. They are very, they do maintain like the essence of the durian. It's not covered by anything. So yeah, just very. It's a nice way to have your durian fix in more innovative ways. So it's really good. Thank you once again for this. So hope you enjoyed the video for this short tour of different food here in Davao. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel, like the video if you enjoyed it. Feel free to leave any comments down below. That's going to be it right now for Davao. See you soon.